When it comes to giving somebody the title of the best villain, I think that's all subjective. There's no real right or wrong answer with this statement. Some people can disagree and have different individuals as their best or the favorite, but in the end, there's never going to be a clear-cut number one. And no, I'm not making this video because I think that Sukuna is the best villain ever. That title to me would be Aizen. But I do want to give him some credit because he's killing it in the manga right now, and I wanted to talk about it because from what I've seen, so many people were on the side of Gojo, and I can understand why. Gojo is a pretty cool and pretty favorable character, but I think it's time to finally give Sukuna his flowers. But if you guys enjoy regular anime videos like these, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that away, mine is Potential Unleashed, and let's talk about why Sukuna is such an amazing villain. I'm a very simple person, and there are two types of villains that I like the most. Those that I consider to be the best are top tier manipulators that can just make anyone dance in the palm of their hands. In a more simpler terms, and pardon my French for this one, they excel in just mind. Some examples include Griffith, and I've heard that, I haven't read the manga, I've only seen season 1, I heard that Makima's up there, as well as Aizen. The other category of villains that I like a lot are those that are ridiculously strong. They're a bit weaker in terms of overall writing, but they make up for it because they're clearly stronger than everyone else, and characters that are like that are Toguro, Kaido, and All For One. These characters are still decently written, but that's probably not the first thing that you commend them for. And a quick little pivot, it's not that I don't like the broken hero category, I just think we've seen that so much, especially in the new gen, that it's kind of like, you know, I kind of want something different. If you were to have a Venn diagram of the two categories that I mentioned, I'd say that Sukuna is probably in the middle. But I will say for majority of the video, I'll be talking about his strength, and I do want to mention that Sukuna, out of all the villains in anime, he's probably my second favorite. I mentioned it earlier, Aizen is my favorite, and the reason why he's my number one is because Aizen was in jail during the majority of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and people still feared him. Do y'all not realize how dangerous of a ninja you gotta be for people to fear you to that degree? And I'm not just talking about fodder, I'm talking about vice captains, captains, Yuha Baha, etc. As I mentioned earlier, the battle between Sukuna and Gojo, most people, they were on Gojo's side, including me. And not to brag or anything, but I've seen my share of anime, and for the most part, what a lot of people consider to be shocking or to be a plot twist, it isn't really that much of a plot twist for me. I find it very predictable. However, when Sukuna defeated and killed Gojo, I was both shocked and not shocked at the same time, because on one hand, this is Itadori's story as the main character, so he was going to have to fight Sukuna eventually, which meant that Gojo was going to have to lose here. But on the other hand, Gojo, he has that famous line. When asked who would win between Sukuna and Gojo, Gojo stated that he would win, and you know what? I believed him. I'll be the first one to say it. I thought that Gojo was the strongest character in the series. So when he lost to Sukuna, and I know a lot of people are going to talk about Sukuna having Megumi shadows and etc. I'm not going to get into that, because what you've seen him do without using those shadows and after the fight with Gojo, and this is just me personally, like I said, I'm not going to get too into the details about their fight, but Sukuna doesn't have all 20 fingers. We know that Yuta ate one of them, and he is actually significantly, or at least to me, proven that he's significantly stronger than Gojo. What makes Sukuna even more raw, in my opinion, is the fact that he doesn't have a particular goal or a particular dream that he's chasing. Yes, technically there are some things that Sukuna said that he'll do, like he told Gojo that he'll end up killing him, or how throughout the series it was always hinted that Sukuna was interested in Megumi, which was to take over his body, how much interest he showed into Yuta, etc. But in terms of having any goals, ideas, or motivation, you don't ever see that from him. This is because Sukuna has such a grandiose persona persona and believes that he's the strongest and that he can achieve or have anything that he wants, and so far it hasn't been proved otherwise. There was also a line in his fight against Kashimo where we got a little bit of a glimpse of Sukuna's philosophy, and he says, "I understand love, and I say to you, love is worthless. I've never needed anyone to satisfy me. I eat when I want to eat, play what amuses me, and kill whoever's in my way. I live as befits my nature. If no one can grasp that, then that's their problem." So there's no point to Sukuna having any real plan because he could just do whatever he wants. I'd say the closest thing that he has to a particular goal would be passing time until he inevitably dies, playing around with the sorcerers and killing them whenever he gets bored. And to my previous point, what he is currently doing in the manga, it's kind of the sole reason why I decided to make this video, because I want to make a list of everybody that Sukuna has fought so far, with the first one being against Gojo. As I mentioned, the first fight was against Gojo, where we can say that this was the hardest fight for him in the story. Number 2 was against Kashimo. Number 3 was Higuruma and Yuji, and they were assisted by Kusakabe, Ino, and Choso. Number 4 was Yuta and Yuji. Number 5 was Maki, and she was assisted by Kusakabe and Ino. Number 6 was Kusakabe. Number 7 was Megure and Lare. Number 8 was Maki, Yuji, and Choso. Number 9 was Yuji with his Black Flash spam with some assistance by Ino. Number 10 was Toji and Yuji, who I gotta say, they might be my favorite duo when it comes to fighting. I feel like they're just so smooth together. Lastly, number 11 is Yuta, who's taken over Gojo's body using Kenjaku's curse technique. This one is the most recent and has gotten a little bit of hate because some people are saying that Jeji pulled something out of his ass, some people are mad that Gojo didn't actually return, and some love it, and well, I'm one of them. How you feel about it? Personally, I think it's just up to you. I think what makes this so crazy is that all of these are the most loved characters in the series, and some of them are ridiculously strong. Some of them you could argue are in the top 10 in terms of strength, like Gojo, there's Yuta, Maki, and an awakened Yuji, there's Higuruma and Miguel. They are definitely not slouches. And some of them have improved since they had a month to train. Sukuna, he is destroying them even after all this. If you want my honest opinion, this still isn't enough, and I have no clue how Sukuna's going to lose, and even if it's going to happen. But this right here is why I love Sukuna as a character, because in this day and age, I feel like a lot of villains, they get written as broken heroes fighting for their version of justice, which there's nothing wrong with, and some of the villains are amazing. But it's a good change of pace to see a villain that is just pure evil and is leagues above everyone else, where we're not sure who will and who won't survive. That's why I think Sukuna is such an amazing villain, and I can't wait to see the conclusion, whether or not he ends on top or in the end is defeated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know how you guys feel about Sukuna as a villain, if you guys love him or if you guys hate him. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.